It's been a quarter century since a fire at McCabe's scrapyard in Galesburg changed the lives of two men.
Since the fire that nearly took Caper and Joey Brown's lives, they've been working to change the lives of others. Tonight, KWQC's James Stratton shares their story 25 years later.
It's a good experience to come back here, just to see it all over again. Just like flashes, I can see everything right now. Where we were, what we did.
Look everywhere and you see what you were doing that day.
Have you been back over here yet?
Caper and Joey Brown were 10 and 8 when their lives changed forever.
This is where I got in, yep. Caper got in the other fence back there.
After breaking into McCabe's scrapyard and stealing a few chocolates from the break room, the mischief went further.
Spraying gas.
Just progress from there.
Nearly 30 gallons later,
Sprayed tons and tons of gas all over the place. Filled up the truck. There's a
brand new
Ford F-150. After we got done doing that, you were there and I was over here.
the two were throwing rocks at each other when the gas exploded.
It ignited from the pilot light in the break room from the water heater. And that's when it exploded. And I ran through here all the way over there, following him.
Since I was in the fire, I couldn't just stop, drop, and roll where I was. It was all flames. The feeling of being on fire, I'd never broken a leg or anything, but I immediately noticed that you're running, you could feel yourself stiffening up.
Came on down this direction here.
The investigative footage from the day after shows burn trails from Caper and Joey's clothing as they ran.
Find some more charred clothing.
The whole time you're running through scrap. You're not running through, level ground.
This is where it was the scariest part right here. Because this is where Caper ran to. My mom was still screaming over here on the other side of the fence. She couldn't get to us.
Jumped off the railroad edge, which is now buried. That's when I first tried to stop, drop, and roll. So right in that area where that's open is where I remember laying.
There was an old jacket that was on the ground, and I remember hitting him with it and hitting him with it.
Joey was burned on 28% of his body.
Take a needle and stick it in you and drag it 1,000 times worse. That's what my description would be.
98% of Caper Brown's body was burned because he went into shock so quickly he doesn't remember much.
I do remember water though. I remember somebody pouring water on me and almost immediately being naked, to put it bluntly.
Firefighters rushed to every side of McCabe's.
There was a big mass of flames coming out of the front of this building. So, I remember that pretty vividly.
They started following Joey's clothes trail. His clothes were burning off. They had a trail, but there's a civilian on scene already with him and taking care of him. It bothers you thinking about a little one getting hurt.
They proceeded to put water on me, and that's it. That was it.
His hands were burnt pretty bad. I remember that. And it was kind of like a load and go. Put him on the stretcher and we left.
After that, I don't know what happened to him after I ran.
The brothers were rushed to Galesburg's Cottage Hospital, then Rock Island, and eventually the burn unit at Shriners Hospital in Galveston, Texas. This is the first time Joey Brown has been back to the place where his life changed.
Why? Why did it happen? What was God's reason? Why did it have to happen so bad to Caper?
It's the second time his brother Caper has been back.
To me, it feels like a veteran going back to where he fought a war, experienced so much death and pain.
He's an inspiration to a lot of people. I just hope he knows it. He don't have to say anything, and people can learn so much from it.
It's all about strength. See how much a person can go through. I think that's why. A person only go through so much, but that's a different story right there.
Tonight at 10, more on this remarkable story of these two brothers and all they have been through. More than 100 surgeries and a lot of skin grafts, too, and helping each other every day get through this.
Amazing story. Coming up in part 2 of Miracle from McCabe's, we'll hear how they both made it through and how they share their message to warn others of fire dangers. We'll have that story for you tonight at 10.
A fire in 1990 nearly took the lives of two boys, burned on 28% and 98% of their bodies. Recovery for Joey and Caper Brown has been an incredible journey.
KWQC's James Stratton shows us part 2 of Miracle from McCabe's, the bond between brothers and how they help other burn survivors now.
Is that the break room? Yeah.
25 years ago on April 19th, 1990,
A lot different without all the scrap metal here.
Joey and Caper Brown came within minutes of losing their lives,
Yeah.
right where they're currently standing. The break room is where the explosion started after gasoline ignited from the pilot light at the water heater.
Right before it exploded, probably 6 minutes. If we were still in here, we probably wouldn't be here.
But they did make it out.
Within a day, I was on a jet to Galveston.
To the burn unit down in Galveston, the Shriners Hospital down there.
You know, people say, did you worry about your brother or whatever? We were too young at the time to think about the repercussions of what we did or how lucky we were, you know, close to death. And like, I could have killed him or he could have killed me. You know, back then that wasn't on our mind.
So close to death. Caper was burned on 98% of his body. His younger brother, Joey, 28%.
Take a needle and stick it in you and drag it 1,000 times worse.
Showing your hands over there like that. Because we want to keep other little kids from getting burned, don't we?
Separated once they were in Galveston, the two barely got to see each other.
You miss playing with Caper?
It's not that fun anymore.
It really hit the hardest when I went into his room the first time. They had to amputate his arms and his legs, obviously, and he's dangling from cables in his room.
Caper flatlined 3 different times.
You know, my limbs open to relieve pressure. When they did that, that was the first time I went into cardiac arrest. Supposedly another one was when they did the amputation.
He spent nearly 2 years in Galveston.
Countless surgeries.
Well over 100 surgeries.
Both of his arms and legs were amputated. Facial reconstruction and skin grafts were needed on parts of his body. Some procedures were excruciating.
You know, like shavings, because he's growing. They'd have to shave his arms or shave the bones that were coming out of his leg.
You know, I was still conscious though. And I still remember being awake. But I don't, you know, remember, you know, minute by minute, more like a little here, a little there, a little there. But most are actually in a coma at the time. I wasn't.
What he endured was experimental. His doctor told KWQC in 1990 that he wasn't sure how Caper's life would be.
It all depends. We will only find out, you know, what's the quality of life as we go more and more and we learn more about. It's very hard to judge anything at this stage. The first thing is to save the life.
The things that were done to him were experimental and have saved countless lives for just the things that doctors learned from him. You know, because burn technology is beyond what it was back in the day. And to see him come that far and live so long when the doctors said that he wouldn't make it 3 years, 4 years, 8 years. He's 36. You know what I mean? So it's mind-blowing, and that's why they call him the Miracle Boy. Simple as that.
Yeah, I thought I'm even still here now. I mean, even years ago, they said, you know, you've been living on borrowed time.
For the last 15 years, the two brothers have helped each other recover.
I was pretty young. I felt a lot of it was my fault that we went back in there, which it's both of our faults. You know, like I said,
More so my fault because I'm the older one. My responsibility, no better.
I just felt like, you know, I got us hurt, so it was my dedication to help him for the rest of his life.
Get you styling a little bit.
This is what Joey does full time. His brother Caper lives with him.
I get paid by the state. I'm his PA. I help him shower, bathe, cut his hair, brush his teeth. I cook, clean, you name it.
There you go.
A couple of burn survivors taking care of each other. Even though he doesn't do anything physically for me, it's the mental part.
When you're burned, that healing process does not end. You're dealing with it every day. You're dealing with the stairs, you're dealing with your medical care, you're dealing with your emotional attitude.
Let's do it.
Yep. So many aspects that people do not see.
The two help each other recover, but they also share their story with others.
It's all about saving lives.
For non-burn survivors, it's basically teaching them, don't make the mistakes we did. And then for burn survivors, it's showing them that we were burned, but we're still going.
They've shared their message all over the country, attending different camps for burn survivors.
It's Kathy and Mary and Dottie. We just try to spread it as far as we can. You know what I mean? Even, like I said, turn the negative into a positive. That's the only way you can look at it.
Turning the explosion that nearly took their lives into a story to help save others.
I know everything happens for a reason. For us to help fire prevention and help kids from getting burned.
I don't know what I'd do without him. I really don't know. He's a good brother. We've been through thick and thin together. But like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Reporting in Galesburg with photojournalist Mike Ortiz, I'm James Stratton, KWQC TV 6 News.
Amazing story. Caper and Joey Brown attend a camp for burn survivors called Camp I Am Me, where they share their story to survivors like them.